Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be speaking to great minds, leaders, men, people who lead this generation um, in this time and season. And it's such a pleasure to be speaking to great minds. And for me, it is my belief. Personally, it's my belief that persons where I speak, and so at some point the people who attend these sessions will go on to lead nations, lead families, lead businesses, enterprises. And so when I have these conversations, I try as much as possible to speak on topics, issues that are centered around our society. Now, I start with the burden of responsibility, burden of provision that the man in our society has been committed to, has been given that responsibility. And it is not alien. Many of us here, will perhaps whether you have a girlfriend or you have sisters or you have a children that you're responsible for, or you even whether you're the last child or the first child, irrespective of the number of placements you are, provided you're in an African family, as a man, you're given a responsibility to cater, to protect, to look after, to provide for those that are around you. And it's a beautiful responsibility. Uh, but one thing that a lot of people miss out from is that this responsibility, a lot of people allow it kill their dreams, kill their aspirations, kill their ambitions. And you find on the second leg of things where people are very ambitious, they forget about the beauty of the African society, which is rooted in family, which is rooted in the family unit, pretty much in the communal spirit, the spirit of Ubuntu. And so what you find is that the African man is on two ends of a spectrum. Responsible end of the spectrum, committed end of the spectrum, uh, uh, which is extreme without recourse to ambition, without recourse to global ambitions, without recourse to conquest in life. And on the second end of the spectrum, you have a another group of people, male figures, who are totally consumed their ambition, but they lack and forget or miss out from the basic unit that the African society is woven around, the fabric that the African society is woven around, which is pretty much uh, family. So it makes the conversation, the topic that I'm speaking about this afternoon, very interesting because we need to find balance. Now, people tell you things like balance is difficult to achieve, balance is perhaps even impossible to achieve. But in my life, I have come to see that the quest for balance, the quest to strike a balance between your ambitions, your family, your life, your own progress as an individual, people do not calmly understand it, or people do not calmly uh, search for it. And that's why what you see all the time is that people are always living on the extremes, whether they're on the extreme end of ambition or they're on the extreme end of, of the lack of it or family, etc. And that's why it's very important. Now, the first thing that I say to every young person, whether male or female, and whether you are young or you are old, the first thing I say is that you need to understand it that the African man, the African society, the fabric that ties us together is in our community, is in the family. And that's why you hear too many adages, too many sayings of things like, oh, it is not a family, one person does not bring up a child, it is the community that raised the child. You hear those things simply because it is the fabric that ties our society together. Community, family. That's the fabric that makes us Africans. That's what makes us Africans. The communal spirit, the spirit of Ubuntu. I am part of you, you are part of me. We all are together. And so understanding that that is how African societies are wired. Understanding that in these times that we live in, you need economic prosperity to achieve anything you want to achieve. The desires that you may have
to achieve it, you need economic prosperity. You need to think beyond your immediate circle. You need to think beyond the things that surround you. Understanding that need as well, create a very clear marriage. Now, the marriage will never be easy. You're there, you hear things like saying, I mean, I've met a couple of people who tell me, right now, I'm trying to make money. When I make money, girls will come. And for me, when I hear things like that, it saddens me because it is one of the poison pills that have been given to a lot of people. Oh, you make money first, and then women will run after you. And in case you're here, you believe you are a believer of those things. I'm here to say to you, I'm sorry, but I have seen in real life, and you will also see in real life that because you have money, you cannot date every woman you desire in life. Now, because you have money, you cannot live every experience you have in life. Yes, you can afford it, but you may not even have the time to live that experience. And that's why the very first place to start when it comes to finding balance as a man is to live every day intentionally. You need to wake up every day and say that, what do I want to achieve today? My relationships that I have, who do I need to keep in touch with today? How am I nurturing those relationships today? What am I doing for myself that is adding value to me today? Those are questions you need to ask yourself day by day. And the reason is because it is very, very easy to get carried away. Like I said, it's very, very easy to get carried away. Like everybody, there are so many activities. The world is so busy. Like there will always be things to be done. I mean, I was telling a friend of mine recently, and I said to him, that the people I pity most in life are people who tell me that, oh, they leave things for later time. That, oh, when I get to this stage, I will do this. I had a friend who was the marketing manager at Lagos Business School one time. Currently, he now lives in the UK. He was the marketing manager at Lagos Business School at the time. Interestingly, I told him, I said, you are the marketing manager at Lagos Business School at this time. Why don't you start your MBA program? And then he told me, oh, my boss is wicked. She's not accommodating. She's unbearable. That sort of thing. And then he keeps complaining about her. And I'm like, there will never be a time where your boss will now leave you and you will now be free enough to say, okay, let me now go and create time to do my MBA. There will never be that time. If your boss is not, if you don't have a wicked boss that is not giving you time now, the next phase of your life, you will have a wicked wife that will not give you time. You can have family problems that will not give you time. There will never be a time where you now have all the time in the world to do all the things you want to do. There will never be that time. And so that intentionality now, guess what? I pushed him to start that program. He went behind my back to defer. The program. Now, interestingly, today he lives in the UK. He texted me this week that he had finally finished his program. Now, a program that he should have finished 4 or 5 years ago. He just finished it a few days ago. And so for me, it cost him more time, it cost him money, it cost him resources, because he should have finished that program 5 years ago. But because he was thinking that, oh, he was looking at all the circumstances surrounding his present situation. And guess what? That's the way majority of us live. We look at all the surrounding situations. Oh, I was born in this city. I've never been to this city before. I don't have a rich friend. I don't have a rich father. My parents are not rich. We look at all those surrounding circumstances and say, oh, you know what? Because of that, I would not aspire to be something bigger than this. I will just keep my aspiration. I'll just stay in my cubicle, just be managing myself in one small apartment, etc. So you cannot allow yourself to get carried away with activities. So you need to live intentionally. Now, the second thing that I say is to find balance between these three things that concern you, that surround you. You need solid counsel. The honest truth is that for a man, the power a man has is immense. the power any man has is immense. You have power over your life. You have power over destinies, because you perhaps will get children. You will give birth to children that you will determine their life, that you determine their destiny. You would do that. So you have so much power. So because the power a man has is immense, you also need to recognize this power. And because you need to recognize this power, you need to control yourself. If you cannot control yourself sometimes, you need people that can counsel you, that can course correct you. Because the power a man holds can self-destruct a man. Because of how powerful a man is, we are easy to self-destruct. And that's why men, we take risk a lot. Men take risk a lot. I've seen men tell me, I don't take risk. And then I ask them, do you have raw sex? Do you use condom when you have sex? And they tell me, yes. No, they don't use condoms when they have sex. And I say, not using condoms when you have sex is the greatest risk any man can take. But guess what? 90% of us take this risk. But 90% of us still claim that we are not risk takers. The irony of life. So we can easily self-destruct as men because we take risk. A man can meet a woman today, sleep with her without using protection, without using condom. You sleep with her. You met her just today. You sleep with her without using condom, and then you say, "Oh, I don't take risk. I don't take risk." What greater risk is that? What can be a greater risk than that? A woman you don't know anywhere from Adam, she can get pregnant for you, and then she'll get tied to you for life. She becomes your baby mama. You can get sexually transmitted diseases from her, and then perhaps it will ruin you, or it will change your story, or it will drain your finances. Different things can come up from there. So the reality is that you need counsel to help you course correct. Whenever you are failing in your family, someone or a group of people that can tell you, oh, something is wrong. You are not doing well with this. You need to man up. Now, you are not doing when something is wrong with your ambitions. You're now looking at yourself less, maybe because of your failures, because of the things that you have gone through. Someone is there to pick you up to say, no, I know your potential. I know what you can do. You can do better than this. Things are going to get better. You need either a group of persons or someone to help you course correct because of the kind of power you hold as a man. And it's very, very important. Now, the third thing I would say to this is that I mentioned earlier that the fabric that ties our society as Africans together is family. I see the biggest thing that hurts me, or the most powerful thing that hurts me most, is when I see deadbeat fathers. Fathers who give birth to children, do not care for those children, who have wives, who do not care for those wives. And it hurts me. It hurts me because it is not what you're doing. It is what the society has given to you. Whether as a father, whether as a man, whether as a partner, that responsibility to care, to provide, to nurture, that responsibility has been given to you. There's no two-way about it. You can't do away with it. Now, when you now move into the point of where you are now becoming irresponsible, it's a problem for the larger society. And so the third thing I would say, I've mentioned two things. One, identifying that need, identifying these two areas and staying true to it. Then the second thing is around seeking counsel from either from a group of friends or a group of people or from one person. And that's why the truth is the biggest arc to life. There are so many things that will make you successful in life, but the biggest arc, timeless rather, it would always apply across all generations, is having somebody show you the way. Whether it's in information, whether it's in knowledge, whether it's in access, whether it's in education, having somebody show you this is the right way to go. Having someone point you in the right direction, having someone inform you this is where you should go. That would be the biggest act of success in life because it is just natural. And that's the kind of expectation, the kind of burden that the society has even given onto us as men. Because when we give birth to children, our responsibility is to show the children this is the right way to go. That's why you see, when I was growing up, I had parents who would say, my mother even wanted me to become a medical doctor. Why did she want me to become a medical doctor? She wanted to become a medical doctor as well. She couldn't be. She had to study biochemistry. So she was, her effort is, Same thing with my father. The guy I thought were, oh, this child must go to medical school, he must become a medical doctor. Because in their head, not just in their head, as parents, they want the child to be in the best possible direction. And so that's the responsibility that fatherhood has been given, we've been given as men, and we need to adopt it. The third thing I would say, and then I'll close, is that I've mentioned intentional living as well, intentional living, having people to course correct you. And the third thing I want to say is that to find this balance, as a man, you need to find purpose in life beyond making money. I'm saying again, you need to find purpose in life beyond making money. A lot of us, we have become damaged because the only thing we care about is money. And I won't blame us, it's not our fault. Our society do not have shock absorbers. So if you don't have money, you will suffer. So we believe the only thing that matters in fatherhood, in husbandhood, in partnerhood is making money. But the truth is, and that's why you see that a lot of people say, oh, I'm taking care of my wife, but they are sleeping with her. Oh, I'm taking care of my wife, but she's saying it's not enough. You hear things like that for every day. The truth is that being the provider will never be enough. So you need to find purpose outside making money, because if your entire purpose is to make money to pay bills, you will struggle, and it will become a major challenging life experience for you as a man. Thank you so much, guys, for listening.